welcome back to my channel. So I hope you've got your coffee or your tea or whatever you need. Today we're going to be talking about year-round homeschooling and creating a homeschooling schedule, kind of how, or routine, kind of how we do that. I know that I said this week was going to be the homeschool room tour, as well as like how I organize, but some things have made that video a little more difficult to make this week. So hopefully those two videos will be up next week, but it's for good reason, I promise, but those videos will be up soon. But like I said, today we are going to be talking about schedules. I have received lots of questions about why we choose year-round homeschooling, and I've also received a lot of questions about why we only do homeschool 4 days a week. That is what we are chatting about today, is kind of our schedule, how we do it, why we do it, all that kind of stuff. All right, so first of all, let's talk about why we choose to year-round homeschool. For us, it makes a lot of sense. We really enjoy the flexibility that it offers us. Because we are not sort of nailed down to this is when we school, this is when we don't school type of schedule, we are able to be a lot more flexible with, say, trips, days off, sick days, things like that. We can really sort of tailor that exactly to our family. And let's be honest, guys, we have got 7 kids. So sick days pop up more than maybe they would for somebody with 1 or 2 kids. We have doctor's appointments. Again, I think it's, you know, we have a few children with special needs. It's not unheard of for us to have, 3 or 4 doctor's appointments in a month. We have babies go to the doctor a little more frequently. So it's an easier way for us to be flexible without ruining our whole plan for the school year and without feeling like we're always behind. If that makes, hopefully that makes sense. I also think that taking shorter breaks in between school helps students with retention. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys remember in school, but like you would get out of school in June and then you wouldn't, at least for us, like we would get out in June and we wouldn't go back until September. And when you went back, it was like, oh, do I even remember that? What happened? Okay, I'm supposed to do what now? And you would kind of forget stuff, and then you'd have to spend a fair amount of time reviewing the things that you kind of forgot over the summer. So I do find that by not having like 3 months of no school, that my kids tend to retain information better. That's just, again, that's not a personal thing there, but I mean, all of it's personal choices, obviously. This plant, I'm not used to sitting next to this plant attacking me. And there is some research out there to show that year-round schooling does help students with retention. There are lots of public schools that utilize year-round homeschooling. One of my best friends, her girls spent almost all of their elementary years in a year-round homeschool, where the most time that they had off was, I think, 6 weeks maybe, but usually it was like 2-week blocks of time off. And really all of that just works really well with sort of our life schooling motto, that, you know, we feel like we are intentionally learning every day. Again, it just all kind of, I feel like, works together, so that there's not a big distinguishing difference between like school times of year and non-school times of year. Obviously we take times off for vacation and things like that, and holidays and stuff, but even then we're still doing educational things. Does that make sense? I don't know. Another big huge reason for us is because we can vacation when everyone else is in school. This was really hard for us this past year with Noah and Rosie being in public school, not being able to take vacations when we normally would. It is sort of a tradition for us to pack it up and head to the beach right after everyone else goes back to school. So right after Labor Day, all the prices drop for rentals, and everyone else is in school. And that's usually where we live in North Carolina. When we head to the beach, it's still hot in September and sometimes even into October. It's not like, you know, we're going to the beach when it's cold. We're still going when it's hot, but everybody else is back in school. And so we can get a great price on a place to stay. And it just makes our vacations cheaper when we can kind of pick and choose off season. We don't have to go and do things on spring breaks or summer breaks. And this year was really tough with that because we weren't able to just sort of go and do as we wanted to, because the kids were in school, and the school sort of, for lack of a better term, kind of owns your kids when they're in there. I do think that getting away and having experiences and things together as a family and traveling and stuff is really important and can absolutely be educational for kids. So there's value in it. And we really enjoy the fact that we don't have to answer to anybody. Like we can just be like, okay, great, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go do that. We basically have some kind of trip planned once a month, every month from now until probably Christmas. We don't usually travel much in December, but we'll be going somewhere every single month from now until then. So it works great because usually we'll do like 3 weeks of school, 1 week off for our trip, 3 weeks of school, 1 week off for our trip. Now, as far as doing school 4 days a week, we can do that because we're schooling year round. We can really make that work. We're not confined to just this certain amount of months per year that we're schooling. So because we're schooling year round, we can really make 4 days a week work. And for us, that just helps keep us on track. Like I said, it's not really that we fully take off that 5th day. It's just that it really allows us to, anything that didn't get done in those 4 days can go to that 5th day, or anything that we need a little bit of extra work on can go to that 5th day if we need it to. There are absolutely times where that 5th day we don't do any, formal schooling at all, but it's there if we need it, and it gives us a little more flexibility during the rest of the week, again, for appointments, things like that, things that might come up with my job or Christopher's job, and we need to be flexible. So that really, really helps us and gives us that time. For right now, our schedule is going to look like doing school Monday through Thursday. And then, like I said, if we have anything extra, we can do that on Friday. But Friday is also our cleaning day. So I've talked about this before, but like we have tried multiple times to have a cleaning service come and help us clean, but it just doesn't ever work out for us. It just doesn't work. We felt like having them come once a week was too much, but having them come every other week wasn't enough. And we were doing it's just with so many people, with 9 people living in the house, you just have to be cleaning every day and then like a deep clean once a week. And so instead of having strangers in our house where we felt like we needed to like leave the house when they were here and juggle between rooms, we were just like, forget it. So we made a list, this is getting off topic, but we made a chart for our cleaning day, and everything's on there and everyone gets assigned things. So Friday is our cleaning day and we get our whole house clean and ready for the weekend to just relax and do and play and whatever we want to do. So we have our daily chores, but now we also have like Friday morning is like get all the cleaning done, and then we can go do other things, play, go on field trips. And we, again, can be very flexible with that. If we have a field trip or something we want to do Friday morning, then we can clean in the afternoon. We're not married to it. It's not like written in stone. Nobody took a blood oath. But it's just like the loose routine. I hesitate to say schedule because that always feels a little more like burp, 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 burp. Everything for us is more of a routine. Just sort of how we like the flow of things to go, and not like at 7 a.m. you will be here, at 8 a.m. you will be here. Okay, so actually going about creating, I was gonna try to show you the notebook, but I think I'm just gonna have to take it out. Actually going about creating the year-round schedule, I just basically take a look at a year at a glance calendar. This is one that I printed off from Pam Barnhill, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, you can see I have things with a square, with a circle, and with a line through them. So what I do is I go through our entire year calendar, like family calendar, personal calendar, all that kind of stuff. I put a little square around people's birthdays. We don't necessarily take birthdays off from homeschooling. It really depends on where they fall in the week, what we're doing for that child's birthday. If we're traveling or whatever, we'll determine if we actually end up taking the actual day off. But we always make the day special for them, even if we are homeschooling. And then I put a circle around like anything that's like an appointment I know we have, or just something that may interfere with our ability to homeschool that day. And then I put a line through days that we are going on vacation, going out of town, traveling, for sure not doing homeschool. So then I'm able to look at those and then figure out the times when we have like what's the leftover time, and then kind of block from there. So I take that schedule, I look at how many days are left, days that we will actually be able to homeschool. And then I go through and look at all of our different curriculums and write down how many lessons are in all of them. And then I divide. So I take the how many days there are, how many lessons there are, and that tells me sort of the frequency, that helps me figure out sort of the frequency that we need to be doing things. I kind of already know that, just to be honest, off the top of my head. Like, it's pretty easy just to be like, okay, obviously things like handwriting, math, we're gonna do those things every single day. History, I try to look at that and see if doing that roughly 2 times a week would be good. that sort of thing. So that's more what I use that for, and especially for some of my kids like Noah, who I know for sure is going to be doing more than one language arts curriculum this year. I kind of wanted to look and see like how fast did he need to do, or like at what speed did he need to do the first one in order to have time to do the second one as well, because I've talked about this in other videos, but he needs a refresher, so that's why we're doing the primer K, but I think the K is gonna be a good fit for him, so we're just trying to kind of get through the primer K and make sure he's good to go, ready to start the kindergarten one. I use that to kind of help me map it out, and then basically what I do is divide it up into semesters. Then I can look at that and figure out how many lessons, roughly where do we need to be by the end of the first semester. So roughly we need to have 40 typing lessons done. We need to have 50 handwriting lessons done. We need to have 50 to 60 language arts lessons done. And I do that because the other thing that I do, oh, I don't have my Hobonichi in here. Sorry. The other thing I do is I take a page of my planner and I write down, I literally say like language arts. There are 120 lessons in the language arts level. I write this down for each child. So I say like there's 120 lessons in this language arts level. And I literally write those numbers down, 1 through 120. And then as we do them, like once a week, I go through and mark off the ones that we've done. So I sort of have a visual representation of how far through each curriculum piece we are. That allows me to not feel so confined by like exact numbers and just more like get a feel for where we're at. We're halfway through the year, we're about halfway through this curriculum, or we're halfway through the year but we're only a quarter of the way through this curriculum. Lets me know I need to like pick up the pace with that one a little bit. It helps my recovering like free bird, in my inner free bird who does not like schedules and routines and stuff, who likes to just fly by the seat of my pants. You can't do that when you're homeschooling 5 kids. At least I've not figured out a way. So this allows me to feel a little less confined to like, you have to do this. Because I don't like feeling like I failed at something. So if I don't do the thing that I have written down that I feel like I have to do, then I feel like I failed. It's just silly. That's kind of how we map things out. I hope that makes sense. I feel like that might have been confusing. But basically we just look at the available days of the year we have, look at how much curriculum we have, and sort of do the math and plug it in to figure out where we need to be at various points in the year, like into first quarter, into second quarter, all that kind of stuff. It really is quite simple, and I do find that even when things happen like, you know, in the winter time, everybody gets the flu, and we don't end up doing school for a week or maybe 2 because everybody's gotten the flu. We still just have so much flexibility with everything that we're able to get done what we really need to get done. So yeah, that is the plan for this year. That is the schedule for this year. Again, this is the first year that I've been homeschooling 5 students. So we're gonna see how this all goes times 5, you know, like I know how to make these things work with 2 kids, but how to make it work with 5 kids is a whole nother story. Oh, there's a delivery truck driver. I don't know what he's bringing, but hopefully it's something good. He's also gonna see me sitting here talking to a camera in front of my window. Hopefully that all makes sense about why we year-round homeschool, why we do homeschool 4 days a week, and sort of just like a little basic of how I actually go about scheduling that. I try to write notes before I sit down to film these kind of things so I don't forget anything. But if you have any questions, if maybe I did forget something, leave them down below in the comments. Also, if you're a homeschooler, let me know. Do you homeschool year-round? Do you homeschool 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week? How many days a week? Everyone's different, and I love hearing what everybody does because it really is just so unique and different for every family. And I think that's what makes homeschooling so amazing, is that you really can tailor it to what your family needs and what works with your entire family. And I really, really love that. So, all right, guys, that is it for today's video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you found it helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. There's a little red subscribe button. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if it's over here, if it's over here. I don't know, but it's red, it says subscribe, it's here. You should do that for sure. Very soon we'll be coming our homeschool room tour and all of that. So yeah, all right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.